Hey, let's talk about games.
Hello there my fellow Deathwing members. Today we're going to be running through the Interrogator Chaplain, giving you a class overview. We're going to be running through the skills, the weapons and some general gameplay tips to make your life a little bit easier. So to kick things off, let's describe all the things that make this rather awesome character unique. When you first load up into a mission, you're going to kick off straight away with an ability that has a rather long cooldown, and that's because it's awesome. It resurrects an entire team at once. That is a potential 3 other people you can resurrect instantly. I cannot stress enough how amazing this is, so make sure whenever you get the opportunity, one of your bros in your squad goes to Chaplain. This dude rocks. Number 2, you're then going to get a damage immunity ability which is applied to yourself. So unlike the tactical specialist, your ability isn't making yourself invulnerable to damage, and this is incredibly handy. It can be used to tank some of the hardest hitting enemies in the game, and it turns you into an amazing frontline, but again it only lasts about 10 seconds, so maybe don't go a little bit too ham for too long. Now ability number 3 goes really well with number 2, they pair perfectly, and this is a short-term damage reflect ability, which as it sounds reflects the damage that you take in melee back to the opponent. So when using the tanking ability and this together, basically you just turn into some unstoppable twirling melee machine of death. It's incredibly valuable and really powerful. Now moving on to the weapons, we have the ever popular Stormbolter, the jack of all trades. You know it, we've talked about it enough times by now. Then we have the Redemption, and I have to say I'm growing a little bit fond of this. The kickback, the amazing sound effects for this weapon, as well as just the general satisfying blast. Love it. The Heavy Flamer, remember we discussed this with the Tactical Specialist. If you want to troll your team and stop them seeing anything, the Heavy Flamer is for you. However, it is also quite useful for killing the occasional bug. Spear of Caliban next. This is, well, pew, 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 pew. Really fun. It's basically a plasma rifle, high rate of fire, and it's really good. Just watch your ammo counts on this because it does tend to fly down and takes quite a while to recharge. Next up we have the Lightning Claws, and just as I've said for every other character, if you want to run up to stuff and claw it in the face because you've got a bit of a cat thing going on, you go for it my friend. However, I will not be there right behind you at all the time, because in the harder difficulties, people with Lightning Claws tend to die first and very quickly. So feel free to use it, but perhaps tuck them away for the harder difficulties. Last up we have the Stormbolter Mark II, aka Pissing Through a Sieve. This is wildly inaccurate but makes a lovely noise. It's sort of like the Mach 10, which is an Uzi, of the Warhammer 40k. It's pretty fun. Let's now move on to the gameplay tips and advice. Now, I said with the Tactical Specialist, please don't die first. Well, with the Chaplain, please do not die first. You can resurrect a whole team, so if you're the first to die, you might as well have just been something else. This guy's main tool that really sets him apart from the others is the fact he can resurrect the entire team. And this is where tip number 2 really comes in. I would really suggest communicating not only the fact that this ability is up, but your other abilities too, because it's really useful for your team to know when you can res everyone, because then 3 of them can just go ham, buy you a little bit of time to run away, and then you can res all 3 of them together, if you're lucky enough to be that coordinated. Or you could perhaps coordinate with them and explain that you have 10 seconds of damage immunity, so why don't you run at the big thing running at you, and then you could tank it for a little while all of your friends shoot it down. How about that for synergy? Now, last tip here, don't presume that just because you've got a Chaplain that the Tactical Specialist is redundant. Having both of these guys on a team together is still very useful. It doesn't give you an opportunity to die or an excuse to die as a Chaplain, however, because if your Tactical Specialist resurrects you, your skills do go on cooldown. But having that extra ability to cast a Resurrect or a Deep Strike is incredibly valuable, because there'll be many situations where you've got one team member dead and you're the Chaplain, and you're thinking, well, maybe I should hang on to my ability for a little bit longer. So just bear that in mind. Now guys, remember this guy is super fun. I hope you've seen the enhanced video stuff for this guy, because it looks like he's going to be getting some sick looking skins. Can't wait to see it. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video as much as I've enjoyed making it. Remember, keep me up to date too. Let me know down in the comments what you'd like me to make, and I'll see you next time. Guys, have yourself a great week.